Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very good Saturday afternoon to all of you. And yes, we've come to the time of the month. Yes, not that kind of a time of the month that I'm talking about, but time of the month for our second edition of Pets Day Out. Yes, EPDO. Don't play the fool, man. Now, this program has garnered a lot of support, so before anything else happens today, we'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you for your support and for your love of animals out there. Now, good afternoon to one and all. My name is Justin Misson, and good to be joining you on this lovely Saturday. And who do we have in line for today's episodes? Yes, after the first round, everybody's so excited to see a dog, to see an animal, but they didn't bother about this animal. So today we'll be having a lot of special friends joining us on this program. Sad, man. My life can't even be compared to an animal. So, if you're joining us now, if you have friends out there who are also pet lovers and animal lovers, kindly just give them a buzz very quickly and tell them to come online and join us on this lovely program, because we have a panel of very, very cool vets who will be telling us more about how to look after your pets, how to be a good pet owner, etc., etc. And also we've got a animal behaviorist. Oh my God. Even animal got behaviorists to look after them. Why can't someone think of a behaviorist to teach my mother-in-law? Every episode I sure to give my mother-in-law, I'm sure to give. Now that one aside, but ladies and gentlemen, also today we'd like to start off the program by telling you who do we expect on our program. Now we've got our animal welfare groups, Cat Welfare Society, backed by popular demand, don't play the fool again, Noah's Ark CARES, and also Hamster Society Singapore. So they have a lot of animals who are up for adoption. Do join in our program, and as we progress along the day, kindly just drop your friend a message and tell them, hey, we're live right now. EPDO is happening now, so please tune in to find out more if you are an animal lover. Got that? Now, we also like to say a very big thank you to our partners out there and also our sponsors, who are Addiction Foods, Husa, Pet Lovers Center, Purina, Ravco, and Silver Sky. Thank you very much for your generosity. And if I do run out of money or food, I'll be looking for you guys. Now, pardon me, but jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be really into things, and we've got a lot of special guests who are around. I'm throwing like side eye lines and all that. So I've been watching a couple of these cats going around like. I'm just waiting to start off this program very, very eagerly. So without further ado, to all you cat lovers out there, stand by, open up your eyes, peel it open, and open it really wide. Don't take an afternoon nap, because it's not time for a cat nap. It's time for info on cats. And what is this all about? Let's take a look at a video from our Cat Welfare Society.
CWS engages the community as we work to achieve a sustainable and humane management in Singapore. So we do so by going through mediation, sterilisation, advocacy and educational programs. The cats need a transition place to let them have their modification of behaviour training, and such as litter box training, how to interact with humans, and even to interact with other cats. Because when they know how to socialize with other cats, the chances of them getting adopted is higher. The foster place provides them a place to recover before they can go into a good home. Today we have Brittany here with us. She has fostered about 10 kittens back in her home country, and even coming to Singapore, she is bringing her passion here to help the stray animals by fostering the kittens.
My name is Brittany and I'm a fosterer. I'm fostering Emilio and another kitten, Raja. I'm working through an independent rescuer who rescues cats and kittens off the streets. Some of them are injured, some of them have been abandoned, and she partners with Cat Welfare Society. This is Raja. She is about 3 months old. She and her brother were rescued from an industrial estate where mom and kittens were dropped. So she had 3 siblings, and I'm fostering just the 2 of them. She was the braver one when she first came in, a little bit more curious to explore and to get to know people, and she loves to run around the house playing with her brother. If she gets lonely, she cries and he comes running to her, and whenever anybody leaves the room, she cries after them because she's really attached to humans now. This is Emilio. He is Raja's brother and was also at the industrial estate. When he first came, he was so scared of us, and he would hiss and he would get really nervous whenever we would approach him. And now he's a really big baby. He loves to be held like a baby, and he likes to be carried around the house. If he doesn't get enough attention, he'll come and start meowing at us to pick him up. So he's really sweet and warms up quickly, and he likes to learn new tricks, so he can sit and he can shake. And Raja's just only learned to sit recently with her treats.
There from the cat, lovely message there from the Cat Welfare Society. So folks, right now on this episode, things are just going to be slightly different. We're going to bring real human beings into the program to interact with me rather than animals alone. So on this segment of our program from CWS, I've got our two very special guests, and right here next to me on my left, I've got the president of CWS, Tanuga, and one of our cat fosterer right there. And I thought Sandra Bullock was sitting next to me and right in front of me. This is so gorgeous, right? Tanya right there. So, Tanuga, I'm going to start out with you. Oh, look at that. Look, doesn't she look like an Egyptian goddess? You tell me, doesn't she look like one? Huh? And look at the cat like, Tanuga, who is this lovely chap right there? Is it a boy or a girl? It looks like a small kitten.
This is a small female kitten, you're right. She's about 3 months old. Her name is Monchi. She is a rescue from, actually the location is uncertain. She was actually bailed out, and she has been in foster care for a couple of months. And you can see that she is just slightly nervous about all the attention, not used to it yet, but I'm sure she'll grow to love the limelight shortly. She is looking for a permanent home and with a loving family.
You all heard that, right? Look at that. She is really, you can tell from here. I mean, for home viewers out there, you can't see this, but I'm really telling you what Tanuga has just mentioned, and I'm just echoing her. You can see that she's really like like curled up, like a fetal position. She's starting to shiver a bit, not because the aircon is cold, but you know, I can sense it. There's tension in her. She's really stressed. But the way you're handling her, giving her the little back rub right there, it's like soothing her down so much. So what is the secret of looking after a cat or a stray?
Well, those are two different questions. So in terms of looking after a community cat, there is obviously having a responsible feeding schedule. You would also need to ensure that they obtain medical care as and when they require. In terms of pet cats, the main requirement really is about your suitability as an adopter. So for instance, you'd have to be willing to mesh up your house. If you'd seen a little earlier, one of the cats in the enclosure actually climbed all the way up the netting, because sometimes they think that they're monkeys and do this kind of stuff. But in order to prevent any high-rise falling or for them to dash out of the house and endanger themselves, we always say that one of the best practices is to mesh up the house and ensure that the cats cannot fit through the width of the grill and endanger themselves. A second aspect of adoption is to ensure that you have the financial means to provide good quality food, to prevent any diseases down the road, to ensure that you have the ability to provide regular vet care, because much like human beings, they also require regular vet attention to make sure all their blood tests are correct and stuff like that.
And most of you would have been noticing now that Tanuga and I are just like leaning over and just taking a look at things, and Tanya's going like, oh. Now I know why there's this term called the cat burglar, because one of these little fellas in there, one of our champions in there, was trying to break out of the cage, trying to find, hey zipper. Let's break out and have fun. So who's that main star right there who was trying to have a jailbreak?
Your cat burglar is actually a cat called Lady X. She's about 8 months old, because this is a very good name for a cat burglar, by the way. She's about 8 months old. She was rescued from an industrial area and has been in foster care for approximately 6 months. So she's also looking for a home. And you can see she's, of the cats inside, she's actually quite alert. She's the most confident. So she's a rare cat that adapts very quickly. Most of the time you will see them have the nerves like Monchi over here and then slowly come into a more comfortable zone.
I can see that Lady X is just waiting for something to happen. She's like an MI6 agent, like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Give me a little wire and hang me down and I'll break all those codes. Now, we spoke about adoption and what a real fosterer should be and how a fosterer should be treating all these stray cats. So I'm going to switch your attention over to Tanya right now. And I'm going to ask you, like, what made you want to, like, become a foster to cats? Was it your love for cats, or was it because you had something inside you that said, I got to do something for the Cats Welfare Society, or Cat Welfare Society, so that these cats can have a nice home?
Yeah, I thought it's a good cause, and why not helping those little cats from the streets? I've also just seen so many of them in the streets, like hanging around, and I thought it was pretty sad. So I thought that if I can help one, then why not?
So you have one cat.
I do
under your
have one,
charge.
yes.
And what's the cat's name?
Fiji.
This program is getting way out of it. I feel like we're on a travel program right now than anything else, like Fiji. Do you want Mauritius? Hey, I've got even Thailand if you want to. So, how old is Fiji?
Fiji is 2 years old.
2 years old.
Yeah.
Is Fiji like here today?
Yeah, he's chilling
that-
around. He's
look at
getting
that.
pretty annoyed.
Look at that. Look at that. When we mentioned Fiji, straight went up and then came down like, I want to get out of this place. I used to have a big home and now I got to be kept in a cage. What's wrong with you people? What was the first reaction when you had Fiji? How was Fiji as a stray
It's
when
very
you first
easy.
brought him?
Very, very easy boy. He's not
Really?
scared at all, which is pretty surprising. So he just went all around my place and then, yeah, just chill on the couch and that's it.
So it was like,
You home.
just home. I'm
Yeah.
home. I'm home, and that kind of thing. Well, that's cool. Now, speaking from a adopter's point of view, what would what should potential adopters out there who are watching this program now look out for and know about cats that are up for adoption from Cat Welfare Society? Anybody?
Okay, so the first thing to note is that Cat Welfare Society doesn't run a shelter and we don't do rescue. So all of these cats are independently rescued and kept with fosters or in boarding. So it's a personal network. So the best person to learn about the cat's personality from is actually the foster. So for example, when Tanya and I were having a chat earlier, we know that Fiji is quite accustomed to being a solo cat in his house. He is very confident with people, no aggression toward people. He's actually pretty chilled out with the cats in here, so that's quite impressive as well. But he's also very calm, and being 2 years old, he's not a super hyper jumpy kitten the way Monchi would be in natural circumstances. And he's looking for a calmer home in that sense. So you have to understand what the cat's personality is and what your family personality is and try to find a correct match there.
Yeah.
So, how else are these cats different once they are out? And I don't know what else to call it but strays. Strays without a home, hunting and scavenging for food. And then you get Singaporeans who are kind-hearted like yourself, Tanya, who will help to feed these cats, but then they don't bother to clean up, which is why other Singaporeans will go, it's a bloody mess, disgusting cats, And I, for one, would love cats, but because of the fact that they sleep on my car every day, which is one question I want to ask you, Thanuka, why do cats have this bad habit?
Okay, so let me start by telling you that you can call stray cats community cats as well.
Community cats,
because
okay.
they belong in our
CC.
community. Yes.
CC.
Okay, so the reason that cats usually seek out cars to sleep on or under is because of warmth. So we have fairly cool nights sometimes, when we're lucky. And for that reason, the cats will usually seek out the bonnet of the car where the engine is and they will lie there. But actually the cat's claws are not different from our nails. They're not actually hard enough to scratch a car. They might go through your wax layer a little bit, but it's a cat. It's very poor thing, right? It's outside. So we should be okay with this.
That's
Just keep your car covered if you are very concerned about it.
That's what Thanuka doesn't know, but the cat doesn't sleep on my bonnet, it sleeps on my roof.
Okay. I don't have an explanation. Maybe your car very hot.
Maybe the owner is hot too. I'm just
Okay,
joking,
okay.
I'm just joking. But you know what? Tell us more about all these cats that you have, all these community cats that you have back at CWS.
Okay, so it's not back at CWS. With the various fosters, you have Fidget, for example, who was he was abandoned it's quite likely that he may have been abandoned because he outgrew his the cute kitten phase, as they call it. And it's unfortunate because he wouldn't have any adaptability skills to the outside, right? With the elements. You see Monchi, and way back there is Percy. So these two were rescued as kittens. It's not clear if they were abandoned by their mums or what the actual circumstances of their rescue were. But in any case, in foster care, they have blossomed and they would be great to go as a pair. Now, Lady X over there, who's really the calmest person here today, she's just chilled out, right? And she's from an air base in the northwest of Singapore. And she's turned out to have a beautiful personality, very good with people. So in general, I would say that one thing to note as a first-time cat adopter, going back to that, is if you're looking at a kitten, I would always recommend a pair. Because what they do is they peer socialize. They play with one another, and you'll see it, when they're very active and hyper and running around, the human beings cannot keep up. We're not cats. We're not able to adapt to this level of energy.
True.
So they will play with one another, and that's the best indoor stimulation you can give to the kittens. When they're slightly older, like Fidget, he's pretty chilled out with watching TV, sitting down, and the Netflix lah. Not Netflix and chill, but like just Netflix and hang out, right? So they are like just calmer post-sterilization. So you're looking at cat whose personality you fully know when you're talking about a kitten who's 6 months and above. With the young ones, they can still develop and change a little bit more. So maybe what you see is maybe not what you get in like a few months' time.
Well, so that's how fast they would change and adapt.
Yes, because at the 6-month mark, as a general rule, all cats should be sterilized. And with the sterilization, all their raging hormones will settle, and then you'll start seeing the calmer aspects of a cat. Play is still necessary, that stimulation is still necessary, but you will see maybe like a greater proportion of hanging out, greater proportion of just sitting down and observing versus jumping around and off the walls.
I see. That's interesting. But when you brought up the point about, I noticed Tanya's reaction was like, yeah, that's like totally true. So you want to share a bit of experience on that one?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty happy that Fiji is already 2 years old, so he's playing a little bit, but only at certain times during the day, and after that it's just like sleeping. So it's very, very easy. It's just chilling around.
So you see parents out there, this is why the government tells you to have 2 kids at least, not like me, only one child will be like, lonely, I am so lonely. Yeah, I do watch Netflix and chill too, but how much of that can we do, right? So if you are interested in adopting a cat, you guys know where to go to, and of course, as I mentioned earlier at the start of the program, it's due to the high demand that you guys wanted, and which is why we brought them back, and which is why we have Tanuga with us and also Tanya with us on the program today to tell you more about all these lovely community cats that you can give a beautiful home to. Now, Tanuga, I'm just going to come into you and straight up ask you a final question. How else can people out there, if they don't have a place anymore for adopting a cat or giving a home to these community cats, how else can they help you in CWS?
Okay, so I think the primary way to assist us is we run the sterilization program on the ground, and we do almost 5,000 sterilizations a year. So the best way for them to contribute would be monetary assistance so that we can continue to run the program. Now, sterilization is important because it's the first population control method, and it's humane instead of any other means for like culling, for instance. So with sterilization, you can ensure that the population is maintained, and then you can start focusing on the more vulnerable cat members of the community, like kittens or recent abandoned cats, which are just unable to adapt and thrive in the outdoors. So then they can be taken in by independent rescuers and fosters who would also need assistance in terms of finance or resources for their medical cases, for example, and then go into a foster network. From the foster network, try to find a permanent home. So word of mouth is very important. As a cat owner, you could also share your experiences with other people and see whether you can help address any concerns they have about owning cats. And that way we can slowly increase and build up an adoption knowledge base in that sense. And everybody can benefit from having an animal at home in an informed way. It should not be a split decision.
Which is now why I'm going to switch the question around. And Tanya, you are like a foster mom to Fiji.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to give a little shout out to the home viewers out there. A ballpark figure averagely on a month to feed a nice cute cat like Fiji.
Oh, wow.
So that we can be prepared if people want to come into CWS and you know, adopt one and give a nice home to all these lovely community cats, how much should they be comfortable with?
With a cat?
Yeah.
It really depends. I don't think you need to be that comfortable. You can just be open to give it a try and see what happens. I think that would be the best way. Just give it a try and see if you can help just these little boys.
But roughly how much? You know, Singaporeans, we're like that. We're very particular. Like, how much?
Financial outlay.
How
Yeah,
much?
I don't know. Maybe I can chime in here.
Yeah,
I think there's various aspects. So let's say your primary components are food, litter, and medical care, right? So food, there's a variety of diets. You can go, you know, raw, grain-free, and purely wet food, for example. So maybe you can put aside, let's say, $50 to $80 a month for food. Litter is not that expensive. With one cat, you probably only need about $10 or $20 worth of litter on a monthly basis. So now we're at about 100. In the first year of a cat's life, they will require maybe 2 or 3 vaccinations. They'll require sterilization. So in that first year, your outlay could be maybe, say, $300, $400 for all of the medical care. But after that, on a yearly basis, you only need an annual booster vaccination. So that's probably a maximum of about $50. So it varies by the year. With cats, from about the 8-year mark or so, they're considered senior cats, and it's recommended that they run annual blood checks, for example, just to see if any of the markers are a bit off and have preventive care. So see, financially, you have to be very long-term thinking. You have to think as well, in 20 years, in 10 years, what am I going to be doing? Am I financially able to support a cat or 2 or more? So these are questions that you should always ask yourself at the onset. So monthly, let's say about $100 to $150, and then on a yearly for the medical.
I'm going to switch to rearing a cat rather than having 2 kids in the house because it's way much more economical and they can look after themselves. Boys, Daddy ain't coming home no more, and you're not going to be seeing no home no more. Now, we've come to this part of the segment. We want to say a big thank you to Tanya and also Thanuga from CWS for joining us on this program. Thank you, lovely ladies, for the insight onto all these beautiful little creatures. And look at that, look at her, look at her, look at Monty. She's going like, I want to sleep, don't disturb me. So, while the cats take a cat nap, ladies and gentlemen, no puns intended, no puns intended, we'd like to say a very big thank you to TNT. I like that, man, it's dynamic in here. Thanuga and Tanya for joining us on this program. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you. And remember, we need your support, so all you need to do is visit CWS. We've got lovely merchandises from them. Yes, condominium available for sale. No need TOP, no need anything, no need what form, what nonsense, or no need bank loan. Can afford and let your cat play, okay? That's of course not forgetting lovely merchandises over there. So show your support by helping us out. If you don't want to adopt, you can also provide financial support, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, after talking to our 2 guests, we're going to move on to the next segment of our program, which is very interesting because yes, today we've got with us 2, not 1. Today the price become better. 2 vets speaking to us. I think we're all ready? Yes, backroom crew? All good? We can move on to the 2 vets because last week the vet, the last episode, the vet became very famous after I say look like K-pop star, every day busy with at least 100 patients. Wah, piang, if you need promotion, call me. I can help your business grow. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our vets, Dr. Teo Boon Han and Dr. Denise Kaur from AVS to tell you more about caring for your pet responsibly. Over to you guys.
Care for your pet responsibly, and also what it means to be a responsible pet owner.
That's right. So today we're joined by a very special guest, Bun Bun over here. So Bun Bun is an adopted bunny. She was previously abandoned, and she also had an infection that resulted in her being blind in both eyes. But that doesn't stop her from being a very happy bunny anyway. So speaking of bunnies, did you know that Bugs Bunny is a pretty inaccurate cartoon? So bunnies cannot survive on eating just carrots alone. In fact, to bunnies, carrots are considered really high in sugar and should only be given as occasional treats and in very small pieces. So also, because of the teeth of bunnies and rodents, so the guinea pigs, for example, they grow continuously throughout their life. And so they need to wear it down, and we need to provide them with abrasive diets such as hay to do that. So bunnies and guinea pigs will therefore need a fresh supply of hay throughout the day as well as water. So what that means is that the daily bunny's diet should comprise of mainly hay, together with a little bit of occasional veggies and a measured amount of pellets. Do also make sure that the water is changed regularly, at least once daily, and is free from algae and contamination. You should also clean their pen regularly, and soil bedding should be changed to maintain a clean environment for your small pet. And don't forget that the small pets will also benefit from having enrichment in their lives, and it's very important for them. So there are many options that are available for them, and some of them you can actually make yourself. So Bun Bun here, despite being blind, she actually really loves her treat ball. See, there she goes. And she knows, even though she's blind, she knows exactly when her treat ball is being prepared, and she knows how to use it with these adjustable holes. She'll make the pellets fall out by nudging them with her nose. All right, let's not get distracted here. Just give me a few. All right, here you go, Bun. There. Okay, so moving on to pet cats and dogs. So we want to keep them indoors because that's safe, and safe from the great dangers in the great outdoors out there. At the same time, we want to make sure that the indoors is safe for them. And that means you need to mesh or grill your doors and windows to make sure that they don't accidentally run out of the house, don't jump off or fall off the high-rise buildings. So apart from providing good quality fresh food daily and water for your pet cats and dogs, providing enrichment is also a really important way to allow them to express their natural behaviors in the home, and also to prevent frustration and boredom when they're confined in the home for long periods of time when you're away at work. So for cats, the natural behaviors include scratching and hunting, which they can express when you provide them with scratching posts or other scratching material, and when you mimic prey, when you play with them using a toy. For dogs, enrichment could involve taking them out for walks, playing a game of ball with them. So there are many, many different options. So playtime is really important for their mental, their physical, and also the emotional well-being of your pets, and also for yourself as well. So it's not enough to just throw them a ball or a toy and expect them to entertain themselves, but it's really important that you schedule time out of your day to play with them. So this also helps to strengthen the bond between you and your pet when you're playing with them. So just like we had for Bun Bun, a really important aspect as well is to have feeding puzzles and feeding toys as enrichment for them, so that they can get some mental stimulation when they get their food, and also makes getting their food a really fun game for them. Well, what else do you have in mind, Bunhan?
Thanks for that, Denise. I'll just add a few more points. I think a really important part of being a responsible pet owner is also to ensure that your animals are sterilized and neutered. Sterilization or neutering is basically a surgical procedure under general anesthesia to permanently remove certain parts of your pet's reproductive organs. And this is important to ensure that and to prevent future unwanted pregnancies, and also it also reduces certain incidences of disease. For example, a female dog that has been neutered would have a less chance of getting certain uterine diseases like pyometra, which is essentially an infection of the uterus. It will also reduce the incidence of other diseases like mammary gland tumors. Certain dogs that are also neutered, the male dogs that are castrated, would also have a reduced risk of testicular diseases and also diseases of the prostate. So sterilization is really important and part of being a responsible pet owner. Another really important part of having a pet is also microchipping your pets to ensure their traceability. Microchip is basically a tiny device, no bigger than a grain of rice, that is implanted by a vet just into the skin and just under the skin of your pet by a veterinarian. And it serves as a unique identifier. So what happens after that is that there will be a device that you can use to scan the animal, and there will be a unique identifier called the microchip number. Now this is really important, and dog owners should also get a dog license, and together with the microchip, this would help trace dogs and reunite you with your dog if your dog gets lost. So other than sterilization and microchipping, it's also really important for your animal to undergo preventative care, and the most common example would be vaccination. Vaccination would allow your dog to be protected against certain diseases that are infectious in nature. And these diseases can be gotten from other animals and also the environment. Pets should also undergo regular anti-parasitic treatments to protect themselves against external parasites such as fleas, ticks, and mites, and also internal parasites like intestinal worms. So in addition to that, I'd also like to highlight that dogs and other pets, just like humans, would need to undergo regular dental services and regular dental cleaning. This is to remove certain tartar and plaque buildup in the teeth and in the teeth and around the teeth tooth structures in your pet. What's different though for animals is that dental cleaning should only be done under general anesthesia by a licensed veterinarian with the proper equipment. This is important as the proper equipment and under general anesthesia for your pet under general anesthesia would allow the vet to clean the teeth thoroughly, especially in the inner surfaces of the teeth and also below the gum line. And that's really important to prevent further dental diseases and periodontal diseases in the future. So thank you for that. Thank you for tuning in. And we move on to the next segment, which is the question and answer segment.
Mm-hmm. And I think we have a question here. Yep. Okay, so we have a question about cats. So someone's cat occasionally likes to pee on the floor of the bathroom instead of his litter box. So why does he do this, and is there any way to get him not to? All right, so that's a really great question. And so cats urinating outside of the litter box is actually a pretty common complaint that we do receive from owners. And so usually for cases where they used to urinate in the litter box, it's quite a natural instinctive behavior for cats to find a box that's safe and quiet with a material that feels like sand or soil and to do their business in there. But whenever there is a sudden change, so they might stop using it suddenly, I would be actually quite worried about if there's any medical issues that could be preventing them from using the box. Maybe it's painful whenever they pee, so when they go into the litter box, they associate that with pain, so then they end up stop using it. Or maybe the litter box is not accessible. Perhaps it's they have a bit of arthritis or a bit of mobility issues, and they can't actually reach the box that could be at a height or could have a very high ledge before they could go in. So as always, when you have sudden changes in behavior, do please bring your cat to the vet. Apart from that as well, litter box issues are pretty common. When I say litter box issues, I mean things like the wrong type of litter. For example, cats actually don't like scented litter. So the lavender, the apple, the lime flavored litter, that's actually only for us. It's not natural for them to go to toilets in an apple flavored toilet bowl. So it could be the wrong litter, it could be the wrong type of litter, or inappropriate, so your cat just doesn't like it. It could work for some other cats, but just not your cat. So you might want to experiment with different litter types. Apart from that as well, it could be litter box location. So whether the litter box is next to a really noisy washing machine, for example, every time they go in, they have no privacy, they feel uncomfortable using it, and therefore they might choose to go do toileting somewhere else instead. The other thing as well is whether you have other cats in the household and whether there are enough litter boxes for them. So the ideal number of litter boxes in the household is actually the number of cats in the household plus one. So it's not a lot of space in most of our houses to have that many. But they also not just need to be, say, if you have 2 cats, not just 3 litter boxes in the same area, but they should actually be separated in different parts of the house. And this helps to prevent conflict when they need to use a litter tray at the same time, and it also helps to prevent resource guarding. What that means is that one of the cats may be then restricting access of the other cats to that particular resource. So yes, these are some of the common reasons why the cat might not be using the litter box anymore. Do you want to tackle the next question, Bunhan?
Yep. So let's see, we have a question here by Mr. Dick Chan. So the question is, does my dog need to be vaccinated against rabies? I think that's a really good question. And it's very natural to be worried about rabies. And rabies is a disease that's zoonotic. We say it's zoonotic because it can be transmitted from animals to humans. And the good news is Singapore has been rabies-free since the 1950s. So more than 60 years, we have not seen rabies in Singapore. But it's really important. In the region, rabies is in various countries in the region. But generally in Singapore, it's quite safe because we've been rabies-free. I do encourage you to speak to your veterinarian to come up with a vaccination regime that is appropriate for you and your pet's lifestyle. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you for all the questions. We've received other questions, and in the interest of time, we're unable to answer all of them, but we'll get back to you after this session. Okay, thank you very much, and on to you, Justin.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teo, and also Dr. Denise. Both of you are absolutely fantastic and spot on with a lot of questions. And I'm really grateful that the audience is actually responding. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. Now I'm a bit stuttering, stammering, because as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest friend decided to come back. He has made a special appearance today because everybody's been asking on the comment page, before I go into your houses and I slap you through your Wi-Fi connection, you people, hello, can y'all give the human some love not? Can y'all give the human some love? Kola, chill. Chill, Kola. Yes, I also know you want to be part of the action. Yes, yes. Stick your head out. Yes, you're more popular than me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Yes. Yes, take the world. Yes. Look at these two fellas. One peaceful. Look, this is like, oh my God. You're really testing me, no? The production crew. Huh? Where are my bosses? You're very good. Hire me to do this. Huh? Can you all please understand? I am a MC. I'm a professional MC. I am not a, like, you know, aftercare or what thing. Sit down, Kola. Go, sit there. Enak bro. Saya lo lai le. Saya malan zao ho. Tan le pato ho. I got problem, you know. You don't na. Nanti lu jatuh gua mampus gua dapat. And then down here running away, down here the butt moving. Ayo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in order to keep you guys entertained, no, I'm not gonna juggle dogs. I'm not gonna juggle between looking after dogs. I have a question because it's time for giveaway. Kola, come here. Come. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is now a show of how to handle a situation. You need to go toilet, is it? Hello, whose dog is this? Huh? Kola need to go toilet. Okay, Kola, come, darling, come here. Come, Kola, come. I carry you down first. Come, Kola. Okay, while we are trying to get Kola sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the question for you to win some prizes for your pet. Okay, Kola, go, run. Phew, finish, thank you. Next time, give me a dog that's like that. Into age of retirement, more peaceful. You see, that's why you see, home viewers, don't always say your parents, grandparents are irritating. They are not. Look at the old one. The old one is the more peaceful one. You see the youngster keep running around, huh? Them chong never think about things. You see? So peaceful. Look at it. It's just relax lah. Havana Unana. Okay, let's get back to the question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hugging my little favorite friend right here. The question for you guys to win some prizes, and this week, happening, 2 prizes to be given out catered to your pet's special needs. And what is the question? Based on the previous segment where we spoke to our vets, ladies and gentlemen, the question is, name me one thing that we should do as responsible pet owners. So first 2 correct answers and you'll be walking away with lovely, lovely freebies given out by our sponsors, specially catered for your pet's needs. Alrighty? Whether it's a hamster, it's a rabbit, it's a cat, it's a dog, doesn't matter. As long as you get the answer right for the first 2 lucky winners, you'll be walking away with prizes. So the question once again is, name me one thing that we should do as responsible pet owners. Then look at that. And there we have Navneeta. Congratulations, sterilization. That's one little means there. And next up, what would the action be? Do we have a second winner to walk away? Microchip your dog, Michelle Teo. Ta-da, ladies and gentlemen, that was the fastest answers that we can clock in. So congratulations. Alamak, how come suddenly got so many come out? I thought you all say 2 ma. Wow, some more come in. Now got 4. Wow, then how? Then you got some more. No? Might as well give me 120 and then I have to sponsor the prizes. So ladies and gentlemen, we found our 2 lucky winners. Well, don't worry about it. Whoever the winners are, our backroom team will be contacting you guys to find out what pets you have and what sort of products you should be giving to your pets. Alrighty, so don't worry about it. As we mentioned, prizes are waiting to be grabbed by these lucky winners. Now, home viewers, we're going to move on to our next program this afternoon very quickly because I can feel something really hot on my thigh. And I just hope it's not the blessings of this beautiful special guest I have on my thigh. Because if it is, I am totally going to be in trouble later. But ladies and gentlemen, our next segment of our program will bring you over to another one of our volunteer groups or our welfare groups, and it's known as Noah's Ark CARES. Now, established back in 2005, Ark CARES, or shall I say NA CARES, have undertaken sterilization projects of stray dogs and cats in Singapore and reforming them, training them, rehoming them, and also ensuring that their welfare is very, very well looked after. Now, in 2015, they participated in the Trap, Neuter, Release Managed project on Jurong Island itself. So without further ado, let's all sit back, relax, and enjoy this lovely video from NA CARES while I check my pens.
My name is Chu Gek Hyang. I am president as well as an active volunteer at Noah's Ark CARES. Noah's Ark CARES is an animal welfare group that specializes in trap, neutering, and relocating of stray animals. We do both cats and dogs in the mainland, but on Jurong Island, which is our main project, we have under our care jointly 200 dogs. Fostering is actually a very essential part of rehoming. Unfortunately, it is not an easy task. We at NA CARES are actually very, very particular because all our dogs are street dogs, and to be fair, they have never actually experienced home life. We hope that you will give us a detailed response so that we can do something to make him more marketable to another home. Well, today we have this dog called Tubbs, short for Teletubby. He's a very large dog, so he's not suitable for HDB. Tubbs, despite his size, actually loves to be with people. He spends half his time resting his head on your shoulder or your knee or wherever possibility place he can reach. And he will follow you around, perhaps I think hoping for food, but then again I think he's quite happy for a pat or two. He has short hair, so daily brushing is not necessary. We bathe him once a week and we brush him maybe every fortnight, every month. He's actually used to having his ears cleaned, his teeth cleaned, all that we have handled him, so if you need to do it, it's not an issue. We feed him once a day, and he's learned how to do toilet breaks, so he actually knows how to go outside to do it. So he hasn't messed up the house. When somebody wants to adopt a dog at NA CARES, we actually have a first meeting where we actually try to establish whether there's a rapport. It's going to be a lifelong commitment and it's a relationship. So if there's no rapport, then we tell everybody we need you to do a 2-week cooling off period. Why? Because sometimes we get caught up with the situation and we think we want a dog, but after 2 weeks we realize actually it's not going to fit in our lifestyle. And if you wish to adopt, we will then carry on with the adoption process. We do have many dogs available for adoption. Some are featured on our Facebook, so I do think if you have the time and your interest, do come and visit us there.
And those were the lovely words there from Ark CARES. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, really, when it comes to this kind of segment of the program, I really love this, man. Suddenly I feel so religious. I feel very holy. I feel like I'm part of the scripture now. Oh my God. It's like, it's going to have heavy thunderstorm, and then we've got this little boat, carry all the animals away, and next to me, I got this very, very dear friend today. Oh my goodness, I am so happy. I am so happy. Not that I wasn't happy with the cats, but because I couldn't touch the cats, so I wasn't happy. But now I can touch dogs, so I'm very happy. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this afternoon are my two very special guests. I've got Gek Hyang, president of NA CARES, and also Madeline, who's a volunteer with NA CARES. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Oh my God, I'm so lucky today, First two guests, pretty women. Next two guests, pretty women. I feel like I'm in a Disney movie, man. Beauties and the Beast. Stop laughing. You all don't laugh at home. Like I say, I go through your Wi-Fi connection, I will slap you through your devices. And here, ladies and gentlemen, this gorgeous hunk right next to me is T-U-B-S, Tubbs. Why Tubbs? Gek Hyang, why Tubbs? You make me feel like I'm going to eat ice cream at that.
Well, actually it's short for Teletubby, and because he's kind of large and he's kind of cute. And well, Tubbs seems so well behaved, so we decided he should be called Tubbs. And he's very quiet.
Teletubbies.
Yes, he doesn't say a word at all.
If the dog speaks, then I should be calling the dog Scooby. Reggie? Now, how old is Tubbs?
We estimate about 4 or 5 years old.
And where do you find Tubbs?
He was actually in Jurong Island. So the story is quite funny. He actually ran after one of our volunteers to come back to us. So we didn't actually catch him, he caught us.
He's a volunteer now.
He's also a volunteer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
That's so cool. Oh, you're like the ambassador for anti cares, huh, young man?
Definitely.
I like that. Now, I would just like to find out from you. This place called Noah's Ark. How special is this?
Well, actually, I mean, why it was named Noah's Ark is partly because we've always believed it should be saving animals. And so the fact is that there are a lot of groups that do rehoming. So we wanted to focus on what the crux of the problem, which was stray population, and that's why we did sterilization. So that's part of where we come from. That's our mandate. And sometimes when we have dogs as sweet as Tubby, then we kind of try to rehome them. But generally, the idea is that there are more dogs or cats than families available to adopt.
Now, I do know that Tubbs is pretty much like a... Are you ready for this? Singapore special. Yeah, Singapore special. For those who do not know what a Singapore special is, it's basically others. Others. Don't know what I'm talking about? Go and check lah. It's still what one people, one nation, one Singapore. Now, Tubbs, is he a HDB approved?
No, unfortunately, he is not. In fact, the reason why we brought him here is because most of our dogs on Jurong Island are much larger. And we think they're much larger because in order to survive in an environment like that, you have to be a certain size. It's all about survival of the fittest. So this is the reality of stuff.
And for those home viewers out there who do not know where Jurong Island is, I do not know where you've been, and if you don't know what's on Jurong Island, there's a reason why these dogs are like that. If you do not know, let me now further explain to you. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because you do not know what these dogs will mutate to become. But whatever they are and whatever they become, as you can see, Tubbs is a very good example of a beautiful, beautiful community dog that has gone through a touch of elegance, a class of being sovereign. Look at this chap. Look at this. You see, so well behaved. Now, I'm going to switch my attention over to Mad. Madeline, you are a volunteer here.
Yes.
What made you want to volunteer?
Well, I think about more than 10 years ago, I came across a case of a litter of puppies that Gek Hiang was also fostering. So I wrote in to make a donation and also to ask how further we can help. Yeah, but I couldn't foster a dog at that point, so I decided to just dedicate some time to learn the cause, the works, and see how else we can support. And there I am. It's been over 10 years and we're still doing this. But we have evolved quite a fair bit. Maybe when we first formed, we championed sterilization, like what Gek Hiang mentioned. We did a lot of areas in the west, like mostly industrial areas. Then in 2015, like I mentioned, we got into Jurong Island. We sterilized majority of the dogs there. There are still pockets of dogs here and there. But now we manage a temporary shelter to house some of the dogs that can be rehomed, like Tubby or Tubbs now. And also do a lot of social work or socialization work for the caregivers so that the dogs can be ready to be rehomed. So for those who want to volunteer, they can also step up and help us also to foster a dog like Tubbs so that they can be prepared to go into a new home. Yes, he's very chill.
Too chill for my liking. Tubbs,
be careful
do
what
you
you
know
wish.
what you are lying on, Tubbs? Do you even know what you are lying on, brother? Do you know what you're taking as a pillow, Tubbs? It's my shoes, bro. Seriously, I need to talk to the producer for this program. I need to get paid a bit more. What the hell is this? He's got a branded pillow on his head. No, but on a serious side of things, I really love Tubbs. He is so, oh my God, he's such a warm dog. He's such like, whatever, you talk first, I just chill first. When time for me to wake up, I'll wake up and I'll carry on, okay? Just let me know what time to have my tea. Let me know what time. What are these beautiful creatures that you have trained? Do you guys actually provide training for these dogs?
the fosterer does.
Well, to be in fairness, in the shelter itself, we actually have full-time employees. And one of the tasks that's set to them is that they should socialize their dogs. So we actually make them try to work with the dogs which are friendly with humans. And when we actually see a dog which we think is more suitable for rehoming, we'll actually bring them to the fosterer, and then we work out the little kinks, like how they will survive in a home environment. Like if you live in a shelter, it's completely different. You've never lived with people, you never lived with other dogs. So we bring them out and we put them in a home environment. In this case, he came out and stayed with me, and he gets used to other dogs. He gets used to being walked on the leash, going to a park, taking drives, stuff like that. Everything that we think they should be prepared for in a household. So that's what we do to prepare them for rehoming.
You know, I guess I have to ask this question because I asked the same question to the Cat Welfare Society earlier, to Tanuga and Tanya. What do potential adopters have to understand, and what do they need to know about the dogs before they proceed on to adopt them?
Quite a fair bit. Yes, thank you. So quite a fair bit. Generally, when we hand the dog over to a potential fosterer, we tell them about the temperament, personality. Of course, some of the shelter dogs, when they come out, they are afraid of cars. They are reactive to other dogs during walks. So all these things or information got to be related, got to be told to the fosterer, and the fosterer must be very patient. He must be prepared to be able to overcome these little issues for the fostered dog. Of course, usually we will help them along the way. They will ask us, oh, you know, how do I get them more comfortable at home or comfortable during walks and all that. They need to be a lot more understanding, because they are not your typical buy home from pet shop kind of dogs. They are very smart, Singapore specials, too smart. Yes. Some of them, you know, can be escape artists. Some of them, yes, can be smarter than you think they are. They know how to work around you and your routine. But they also learn very fast in the aspect. Yeah. So you got to really understand the dog's temperament. Don't be too impatient. Don't say like, you know, today I get this foster dog, tomorrow I want to bring him out on the dog run. I know it's fun, it's nice, but that will might result in a different situation like a lost dog. So we really need the fosterer to be very patient. And it is not, like I said, a perfect dog where you can just put on the couch and lie there the whole day. They need to be engaged. You need to tell them what to do, what not to do in the house, in a proper way. Yeah, so basically a lot of patience and to keep the dog alive. That's
You're making it sound very scary now. You're making it sound really scary.
It's not scary, but it's just a little bit more commitment to be able to help mold the dog into the next household, so that the adoption process will be smooth.
Which is why I tend to agree with some parents that they want to they want to adopt a dog because of what trauma the dog went through, and from there they push the responsibility of looking after a dog from training, educating, looking after, feeding, everything to the children, so that these kids learn to be responsible, and they'll grow up with a lot of knowledge and also how to handle a living thing, rather than just living the new generation going everything iPad, device, WhatsApp, father, mother, that kind of thing. There's no interpersonal relations. So which is why I say you guys are doing a bang up job, and why I'm encouraging a lot of people out there to please go ahead, adopt, whether it's a cat, it's a dog, it's whatever. Just if you guys have the opportunity to come down and visit us, or go online and visit our welfare groups, go ahead and do so. But here's a parting question that I need to ask you guys. It's not easy to run a place like what you do for all these dogs. If we do find people who are true animal lovers with a big bungalow, landed property to let these dogs run riot, learn to grow and stuff like that, it's good. But we don't have that many proper homes to house huge dogs. And if we want to break laws and rules, we can do so. But with that said, how else, if people who are HDB dwellers, condo dwellers, how else can they help you guys if they cannot bring a huge dog home?
Well, I think it's more about being aware about what it is to adopt a dog. I think if you adopt a dog as opposed to just buying without realizing the responsibility, I think that's part of our education, and I mean, we will be very happy if you come and promote things like that. In fact, we take the attitude that not all dogs can be adopted, so we try very hard to see whether there's proper rapport. And we tell people if you've never had a dog or a cat, you're probably better with an adult that's already been semi-trained, like say Tubbs. Then all the hard work of training and socializing has been done. So we will tell you, why don't you come and help us socialize the dogs, come to our shelter and work with them, because that's something we would like very much too.
I think aside from that, sorry, I just want to add, aside from volunteering, your time, being a fosterer, you can also donate to the cause of our sterilization program and to upkeep the dogs in Jurong Island. So you can donate, the donation details are on our Facebook page. And to adopt Tubbs. Please.
Tubbs is like the highlight here today,
Yeah.
and really, I've got to give you girls credit for this. Look at this. Look. Do I need to say more? Do I need to say more? You have eyes to see for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen out there. Tubbs is a beautiful, glorious young stud just waiting to bloom and blossom in your home. But if you don't have a proper home and you don't have the time, the financial capabilities, or whatever not, please, if you want to volunteer, we are here. If you want to donate, we will be happier. Gee, sounds like a rhyming scheme right there. I sound so poetic and lyrical, ain't I? But here I'd like to say a very big thank you to Gek Yang and also Madeline from NA Cares for joining us on this lovely program. So remember, if you are very interested to have a dog in your home, you want to adopt one, and if you want to go through NA Cares, can you please just contact these guys? They are more than willing to tell you more. But if you want to volunteer, we are also going to welcome you with open arms. Alrighty, now we come to the end of this segment with NA Cares, and we'd like to thank our two lovely guests once again. But let's see what we have lined up in store. One last round before I go anyway. Tubbs, thanks for coming on, my buddy. Hey, Tubbs. Tubbs, now you're like my wife. You're just ignoring me. Tubbs, come on, man. We are friends, man. Don't tell me you're a Liverpool supporter and I'm a Man United supporter, man. Hey, Tubbs. Okay, now you look like an Arsenal supporter anyway, yes. That's how Arsenal supporters are supposed to look like. It's the end of the world. Now, jokes aside, but let's come on right now. We're going to go to our commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, because we have another round of giveaways. And what are we giving out? Yes, 2 lucky winners, special gifts, special curated stuffs for your pets. And what is the question that you need to answer? Question is, we are going to customize these goodies, and the question would be, what is the name of the Singapore special that we have just showcased earlier from NA Cares? If you get this wrong, I swear to you, I'll put you in a tub and I'll drown you. Got it? Hint not good enough. Think about it again. I'll see you guys shortly. So 2 answers up next. Let's go. So fast, right? Today's episode, a lot of walking, man. Today's episode, I'm underworked, overpaid. Sorry, it's overworked, underpaid. Sorry. Not shy. Oh, so fast. Jessica Ong, Tubbs, you're absolutely correct, Jessica. So I presume she's the first winner, because I was just like limping back here, trying to hobble my way back. After that round, I got Jessica Ong with Tubbs, and I think we do have like one more winner. Is it right, guys? 2? You said 2? Can I have a run and check on this too? Yeah, so what's the name of that little special guest that I had on my program earlier, the Singapore special? Yeah, pretty much like me. It's called Eurasian Dog. So I got a first winner, Jessica, right there with the name Tubbs. So you're correct, Jess. Good job. And the rest of you just had to follow along. If I said Jessica's correct, you just follow, type, and then send your answer in. Not so difficult, man. Bonnie Lau, congratulations to you, Bonnie Lau. It's Tubbs. You are absolutely spot on. So well done to our 2 winners. We'll be contacting you guys very, very shortly. Our backroom crew will be in touch with you all to tell you more about how you can pick up all these lovely prizes that's catered to your special pet right there. Alrighty, so coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to quickly move on to the next part of our program, which is a special segment with our animal behaviorist. What is even an animal behaviorist? What is that? I need to know about this. This is so interesting for me, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from AVS, we'll be handing you the time over to our animal behaviorist, Miss Chong Chi Ai.
Thank you, Justin. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ti, and I'm an animal behaviorist with the Animal and Veterinary Service. So today I'm just going to be here to share with you some tips on how to do loose lead walking with your dog. So basically, loose lead walking is just your dog walking on a slack leash without any too much tension, so without your dog pulling or moving in all different directions. So ideally, you want your dog to follow you everywhere when you cue him to do loose lead walking. So regular walking for dogs is extremely important because it helps to get them some exercise and also gives them lots of mental stimulation in being outside in the environment versus being stuck at home all the time. So it's very important to bring your dog out for daily walks. However, it's also important to note that leashing while walking in public spaces is required by law. And this is important to keep your dog under control at all times. So like Elsie here, she's getting a little bit restless, so down. Good girl. Yeah, so loose lead walking is required by, well, not loose lead walking, sorry, walking on a leash is required by law, and it's very important to keep your dog under control at all times and also to keep them safe from harm. Okay, so during this short demo, we will be bringing you through some of the steps in teaching your dog how to walk on a loose leash. And for this exercise, I will need a dog. So I have Elsie here who has kindly volunteered to help me with this demonstration today. I'll also be needing a leash, a collar, and as well as a harness. So Elsie is very used to wearing a harness, so that's what I'll be working with here. So this is a harness attached to a leash, and this is a collar as well attached to a leash. Okay. So I will also be using a clicker for demonstration today. A clicker is a very useful tool for training because it helps to increase communication with your dog. The clicker is usually associated with a treat or food. So for example, here I have some treats for Elsie. So typically I would pair the clicker, which is a meaningless sound, to a positive activity, positive experience. So I will click and then I will give Elsie the treat. I will click and I will give Elsie the treat. So the click sound is a very precise and a very unique sound. So it's not, she won't hear that sound anywhere else, and you can use it to mark the exact behavior that you want Elsie to be doing. So she understands that when the click is associated with that behavior that she's doing, she understands that that's the behavior that you want her to do, and she'll keep doing it more because she knows that she's going to get paid for that behavior, right? So I'm gonna ask her to do a high five, and we'll see how this works in action. So high five and treat. Okay, so that's how it's done, and I'll be using a clicker to demonstrate loose lead walking in a little bit. Okay, so before we even start to walk, we will need to put on a harness on Elsie. Okay, so if your dog is putting on a harness or collar for the very first time, you want to introduce this in a positive manner so that she doesn't get scared or she doesn't associate the collar or the harness with anything negative. So Elsie here is very used to wearing a harness. Elsie, so you want to show the harness to your dog. If you're showing it to her for the first time, you can give her some food just to form that positive association with the harness. And then if you don't see any signs of fear or stress towards the harness, you can begin to put the harness over her head. So this harness, and then proceed to the loops of the Elsie, I'm going to need you to stand up. Stand. Good girl. Okay. So putting over, sorry, wrong side. And then just buckling up here. So if your dog is afraid of the harness, you might want to do every step of the harness wearing much slower than this. And put through the loop. She's very cooperative here. She's a very good dog. Her owner should be very proud. Oops, sorry. Okay, I seem to have put on the harness a little bit wonky, so I'm just going to do that again. So pardon me because I'm not used to this harness. That's right now. Good job, Elsie, and good job me. So, loose lead walking can actually be trained using solely positive reinforcement methods. So that's the method that I'll be showing you today. There are many different ways to train this behavior, but I will only have time to show you one type of method. What we'll be doing is rewarding any desirable behaviors that Elsie does, and any undesirable behaviors, we would just be ignoring them. So we won't be reinforcing them, we won't be scolding or punishing them either. Okay, so this is a much more direct method of learning because when we reinforce desirable behavior, we are telling the dog what to do instead of what not to do. So that will be our goal for today's session. Okay, so we will also be breaking down the behavior into small, achievable steps to help Elsie learn quicker and better. So she will be able to catch on the behaviors much more quickly if we break it down into little portions that are able to help her succeed. So it's like going to kindergarten first. Your teacher doesn't start off by teaching you long division. She starts off by teaching you 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2. Then she goes on to subtraction and then over to long division. So in the same way, we need to break down all these different parts of that behavior to help the dog be successful at the task. Okay, so without further ado, I will bring Elsie down and we will start with the leash walking. Elsie, come. So she's not so comfortable jumping from such a tall table, so I'll have to carry her. Right. Right, so if your dog is pulling a lot on the leash, we would first want to get her into correct position. Okay. So typically it will either be on your left or on your right, but do be consistent, pick a side and stick to it. Okay. So we want to use a treat to lure her into that correct position on your left side. Like this. You can do it like this. Sorry. And then mark her for that correct behavior of standing onto your left. Okay, so we're just going to do it again. And then if she goes out of position, don't worry about it. Just get her back to that position using a treat to lure her. And do this over and over again. So repetition is very important when it comes to training animals. Repetition strengthens behavior. And as we always say, practice makes perfect. So it's exactly the same for animals as well. Okay. So you want her to be on your left side for as long as possible. So you can start to increase the duration by only marking and rewarding her behavior after 1 or 2 seconds. Okay, so I would lure her into position, wait a second, and then click and treat. So ideally, you should get up to maybe 3 or 4 seconds of her standing on your left side, if possible. Okay, so that's the first step of this behavior. Okay. So do note that we're not training a strict heel here. The criteria for a strict heel is much stricter than this, but for most pet owners, just a loose leash walking behavior would be sufficient for daily life. Okay. So the next step of the behavior is to walk a step and then use your treat or your hand to lure her to follow you. So this is how it's going to look like. And do it step by step, so 1 step at a time. And then when she's quite proficient in following your treat, you can start to fade out the lure by using just your hand. Okay, so you can, Delsey's a bit distracted there. So get her to follow your hand. And if she wanders off being distracted, that's fine. It's all part of the training process. Okay. So this is good because she's not going in all directions and she's not pulling on the leash either. So when she's quite good at following your hand, you want to fade out your hand prompt as well. So you want to walk with your hands by your side so that she doesn't need to follow your hand. Okay? So take one step and she follows, click and treat. She follows again, click and treat. So this is step by step. Turn is a little bit harder, so we will need lots and lots of practice for this behavior to be proficient. So when you are good with one step at a time, you want to increase it to 2 steps, then 3 steps, then 4 steps. Okay, so you can walk 2 steps. Then 2 more. Elsie. So we're in a big room now with lots and lots of distractions. So Elsie is actually doing really, really well. When you're training this behavior for the first time, it's always best to do it in a small indoor environment with no distractions at all. And then you can start to layer or add on further distractions. So when you've increased the number of steps to maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or even up to 10 steps, then when she's really proficient in the behavior, you want to add a cue to the behavior to tell your dog exactly when you want the behavior to be performed. So for example, you can start by saying follow me or let's go, depending on what you prefer. Okay, so it will be Elsie, let's go. There. So that's how you associate a cue with that behavior, so you can tell your dog exactly when you want the behavior to be done. Okay, so Elsie did a really good job here. Come on. You deserve lots and lots of treats. So as with all training, it's important to know that you have to break the behavior down into small, achievable steps to set your dog up for success. If your dog takes a lot longer to learn the behavior, don't be discouraged, but keep going at it. You require lots of patience and perseverance, but the results that you get from training your dog in a positive manner is amazing because your bond with your pet will be stronger and more fulfilling than ever. Right? High five. So yes, Elsie is a very good dog here, and it's also important to understand that many dogs have different types of learning speeds. So every dog is different and unique. So we always need to take their character and their personality into account, and we can slow things down or speed things up as much as we need to. Okay? Hi. Can you do it down? Okay, so there you have it. Loose lead walking with positive reinforcement methods only. So thank you for your attention, and I will pass the time back to Justin.
With a face like that, with that cheerfulness in her, how will I not listen to what you say? You ask me sit, I sit. You ask me run, I run. You ask me beg, I beg. I will beg. I will beg because 你是很神奇的一个爱。Well, not bad, not bad. This Eurasian. Hey, stop hitting me like I slap you, like damn rude, no boy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was our animal behaviorist Chi with some very, very great tips there. And look at the way that everything was going on right there in front of your face, like click. Just crazy, man. So all of you know that this is pretty much like an infotainment program, and you get your information about pets, whether it's a cat, like our majestic Fiji earlier, if you've seen Fiji inside the cage, and also our little Mondri, who was like all nice, even though was scared, but still behaving well, and how Tanuga actually told you more about the Cat Welfare Society. And after that, we switched our attention to Noah's Ark, which is NA Cares. We've got Gig Xiang and not forgetting Madeline telling you about the dogs that they have up for adoption and everything else. So remember, we have every other pet that is covered in this program for today. But what is more important is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very special animal welfare group that we want to bring onto our program today, because last episode, after we finished, there were a couple of comments that went, hey, y'all got this size, y'all got this size, then y'all forget about this size. What am I talking about? Give me a view. Give me some nuts. I'll run the view, and then I'll tell you what it is all about, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, our AWG. Who do we have? Let's take a very, very quick look right now. And it says right there, the Hamster Society of Singapore. I feel so very, very class artos. So let's take a look at the video from the Hamster Society. Go ahead.
My name is Clarice, and I'm a fosterer with Hamster Society Singapore. So what I do is I take the hamsters in, help to rehab them and prepare them before they go to their forever homes. And we also do outreach and education programs. So like previously we went to schools to educate children on how to take care of hamsters properly. But now we also have articles on our website as well as Instagram posts to share with the public on how to better take care of their hamsters and give them the proper care that they need. So as a fosterer, we have to make sure that the hamsters are given the best care they can, which is usually making sure that they have enough space, so tanks or bins that are big enough, and then we make sure that they have the right kind of food, so hamster mixes that are appropriate, as well as ensuring that they have wheels to run on, so food, water and space. And lastly, we also take care of their medical needs. So if they come in and they are sick, like they have mites or require any medical treatment, we'll be taking care of that and ensuring that they'll be close to full health or full health when they go off to their forever homes. We have Omu, who was rescued with her 3 siblings after they were found abandoned in the wilderness. And she's a little overweight and slightly skittish because she's been exposed to a lot of elements. So she's definitely in the process of taming and rehab work. Omu loves food, so once you have treats or you refill her food bowl, she'll be your best friend. There's Sanko, who's actually from the same batch as Omu. So she's actually the runt of the litter. She's really small, but she's also very cheerful, very happy, loves her food, and loves running around her bin as well. So we have Blaine. Blaine is a very charismatic little boy. He's very human-friendly and he'll come up to you for pets, and he loves his food as well. So we have Shaki. Shaki is a very cute little boy, and like his name suggests, behaves like a shark. So he will zoom towards for your hand when you put it into the bin, or any foreign object or new object. He's very investigative, very curious. And then Shaki also loves his food, so you can definitely tame him by giving him a lot of treats and bribes. Donations are very important to us because we use them to fund our medical fees. So for instance, we have 2 hamsters, Sashimi and Estee Lauder. They both have medical conditions. So for Sashimi, she had an impacted cheek pouch. The food started rotting and decaying inside, so the vet eventually had to remove the cheek pouch, and now she's only left with 1. And then we have Estee Lauder, who had to amputate her paw because she had a growth that was like swelling on her paw. So these medical procedures can be quite costly, hence we rely heavily on the public to donate to us so that we can continue funding and nursing these hamsters back to full health. These hamsters need your help to provide them with loving homes and everything they need. Can you help us, Justin?
Why ask me for help? Why? Do I look like some kind of like call center, some help center? I tell you, these people, like, you all really think I can perform miracles, man? I only helped one vet to become famous, and then because of my help, this fella suddenly today, a lot of patients, a lot of animals can look. But you know what? It doesn't matter whether help or no help, because I might as well bring the person live into the studio to talk to you guys about hamsters. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my very special guest this afternoon from the Hamster Society of Singapore, the very lovely Clarice.
Hi.
Clarice. How are
Hello,
you?
I'm good.
Goodness. Thank you, producers. This is by far the best episode. The best. The best. Keep this coming every week. Let's do the Cat Welfare Society. Let's do NA Cares and let's do Hamster. I don't mind. Just bring the same five guests back to my program. I will be a blessed child. I swear to you. Clarice, first question. Why hamsters? Why?
I guess I've always been an animal lover. So, yeah, everything, dogs, cats, birds, everything. So,
She didn't get a hint. She didn't get it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, next. Okay,
okay, I
let's move
didn't
on.
get it. But I guess hamsters are like small pets. So, to me, they take up less space than a dog or cat would because they are not really like free roaming all the time. It's easier to maintain them in terms of like cage sizes and stuff. So yeah, hamsters. And they're also very cute. They're super adorable. And they're furry and they're small.
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna share an experience with you.
Okay.
I went to my friend's place when I was like pretty young in my teenage years and all that. And also he had a couple of hamsters running around. So, hey bro, take and play bro, take and play So I took out one hamster and this bugger just nicely went to town with my palm and started biting and nibbling on it. It's not like painful, but it's just irritatingly stingy. So I just let go of this bugger and I spent 4 hours with my friend in his whole house trying to look for one damn hamster.
Oh gosh.
So after that, I've got all these traumatic experiences done. No more hamsters in my life. I'm just scared. How difficult is it to look after a hamster?
Well, I guess it's not super difficult, but it definitely requires experience. It's not exactly say like a lot of people think that it's a primary school pet or a starter pet for children. You actually also need to give it the same amount of care and love and attention as you would give a larger animal or animal with say more needs. So with hamsters, they are pretty simple in terms of like you need to give them the right amount of space, the right kind of food, the right kind of bedding like the ones you have here, right kind of sand. So basically this would be like a perfect environment for them to be in. And other than that, you can give them like time outside of the cage as well. So you can like board up areas or give them play pens to run in or free roam, but also make sure that your place is like hamster safe so that they won't get lost for 4 hours.
Oh, you just want to, she want to rub it in something. She just want to rub.
But you found it, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't find it. My friend, she found it.
Your friend found it.
Still alive.
Okay,
It
very
was
good.
Still alive. Allow me to just say it very clearly.
Okay,
now,
very good.
what is the size of this tank? Because to me, it looks more like an aquarium rather than a tank for
Yeah,
hamsters.
actually some people actually use aquariums as long as they are the right dimensions. So say for like Bobrovsky hamsters, like the one we have here, Queenie is inside, she's somewhere hiding. Bobrovsky and dwarf hamsters, the recommended size would be 70 × 40 cm, which can feel a bit large, but actually that's like perfect for them. And then for Syrian hamsters, it's 80 × 50 cm. It's quite a bit of space actually.
Can somebody please explain to me in English what she just said in French?
So those Bobrovsky is like a breed of hamster.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, I know. Yes, correct. Yeah, right.
Yes.
And the other one was
a dwarf, winter white.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Correct.
also a breed. And then
And
Syrians.
that's
That's another
right,
breed as
Syrian.
well. Yeah, that's the bigger ones.
Let's not get political here. Huh? When you say Syrian, don't look at me like that. Huh? You think I'm not watching you guys out there. Now, how do hamsters end up needing adoption? That's my question.
Oh yeah, well, sometimes they come to us by surrenders. So sometimes when owners can't take care of the hamsters anymore.
This reminds me of the cat burglar just now. I surrender. Yes, I was the one who was trying to break out of the cage earlier. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they surrender their hamsters to us. But sometimes it's due to things like overbreeding. Like if you accidentally put 2 hamsters in a cage and they're one male, one female, they're going to make babies and you probably can't take care of like all of them at the same time. So you have to give them up to us. So that's one way you can surrender. And sometimes we get notified by the public. So rescue cases, for example, sometimes people abandon hamsters in like tiny cages or like carriers like this, like under the void deck. The public sees it, they drop us a message to let us know.
Seriously, there are cases like that in Singapore?
Yeah, it's quite sad actually, but then I know last year and this year actually there's been a lot of cases of like people abandoning their pets and like sometimes they put like many in like one small tank and they don't give them food or water, so they're kind of like in a very bad state when they go down to rescue them.
So you actually go around based on reports or people calling you guys and say, hey, you know what, we found this, da, 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 and you actually go to the ground and you pick these hamsters up and you house them.
Yeah,
You
we
look after
foster them, yeah.
Oh, you foster them, okay. So the question now here is, inside here, this
Yes.
little container
Little
looks like
thing.
a lunchbox, perfect for a kid that's going to school. What's the name of this young hamster in there?
So, should I open it?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I guess you can open it. I'm just going to move this side. That's all.
This little
The camera
girl-
there to catch me. Just capture the
Cannot
hamster
really
and
see
Claire is
her,
more
huh?
important. Yes.
Okay,
Keep
this
it
little
with me.
girl is Omu. She's about
Omu. She sounds like some Japanese
like
rice.
Omu rice, right?
Yeah, she sounds like Omu rice.
She's about 8 months
Yeah.
old. She's very sweet. She was actually abandoned in Bukit Panjang, like downstairs with 3 of her siblings. So they were all found like in the wild, like they weren't even caged, they were just running around. So I think public like notified HSS, they went down, they rescued them. So they were obviously very skittish and scared of humans at first because they were very exposed to the environment. But then, like see now, like she's all tame and you want to pet her. You can give her a little like boop on the head.
Oh, you see, they're in safe hands. So,
Yeah.
so I would rather be professional and do what I do best, which
Okay.
is asking questions and,
Okay.
and seeing lah.
Sure.
Like petting hamsters, all this. Leave it to the professionals.
Okay.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't later I touch one more time, the fella run
Later
again. I
run.
tell you, this is a big place. This is a big place to catch a
It's
hamster.
okay.
So now what you're telling me is that, there are people who actually abandon hamsters also, which is
Yeah.
why I'm saying that it doesn't matter what sort of animal, what sort of pet you have, whether it's a young one, it's a small one, it's a big one, it's a cat, it's a dog. It's about responsibility, being a responsible, mature adult to look after your pets. Even hamsters get abandoned. So you can imagine the state of animals. I mean, really, they are still alive after all. It's still a live, living thing. So please be responsible, okay? Now, how do we find out more information about how we can go about adopting these hamsters from the Hamster Society of Singapore?
So firstly, you can check out our website, hamstersociety.sg. So there's a whole adoption gallery where you can look at the hamsters we have up for adoption. You can look at the adoption requirements, the files, the guidelines. You can also like drop us a DM on our Instagram, ask us questions, or you can ask me now also can.
I seriously feel like a stupid Stone Age dinosaur just released from Jurassic Park kind of thing, of course I go to our email or our website, our WRL, just you, piang uncle, where have you come from? Even hamsters are more intelligent than you, my goodness gracious. Now, how difficult is it to look after a hamster? Just talking about a hamster. I know some people who have got like 4 hamsters
hamster.
running around in one bloody home, that kind of thing.
But running around in a home, that one a bit scary lah.
Ah.
Usually, so it's not super difficult to have a hamster. You need a appropriately sized cage. So like this acrylic tank here, 70 times 40 cm or 80 times 50, depending on what breed your hamster is. You ensure that they have safe bedding. So you either give them paper-based bedding like this one we have here. So some of the brands we use are like KT or Oxbow, so that it has I know a lot of names, right? But anyway, this bedding will make it extremely safe for the hamsters to burrow in because they love digging actually. So actually we'll like put a thicker bedding and they can dig all the way. They can create tunnels and stuff and they love to hide in there and sleep. It's super cute. So appropriate bedding. And then we also have to provide them with a sand bath. So it allows them to clean themselves because you can't shower a hamster. You're not supposed to shower a hamster.
Cannot
No lah, cannot.
Cannot. I thought like just throw them into a bathtub or something like that.
Cannot. They will
have
drown.
fun,
They will drown.
Just go for a jacuzzi or what, I don't care. I can see that. Obvious can see that, right? This is the tank that we're talking about.
Yeah, this is the tank. So give them sand. So like for Queenie inside here, she's a Roborovski. So she requires like the tank to be like 1/3 sand bath. So that like she has enough space to like dig around, roll around, and like it helps to clean the grease off their bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they enjoy like sleeping inside. It's very cute. You can watch them. Maybe you can try sand.
Yeah, I should try a sand bath instead of a normal bath. Yes, I heard you because when you say about sand bath, remove the grease straight away, your attention, your eye line.
Yeah,
I could see the
I know.
playback monitor straight the eye like, your uncle, you should clean your hair. Clean your
No,
hair.
I
You're
never
very
say
oily,
that.
uncle, you're very oily.
Okay, and then like the wheel, of course. Every hamster needs a wheel, depending on their breed. Appropriately sized wheel, so 21 cm or 27 cm and above. Bigger is better.
Now, Clarice, I'm going to ask you this very simple question as a wrap up. And I think
Okay.
it's down to the dollars and cents again. I'm a very practical person. I don't want people to say, I can adopt lah. Wow, I got kind heart. I'm a kind-hearted soul. I want to adopt. But as you go along the months, whether it's a cat, it's a dog that you adopt, you know that it's going to be a huge financial burden, and you start to release these pets that you adopted, and that gives them a second round of trauma, a second round of rejection, a second round of I'm not wanted, and that really affects the pets badly. So I just want to ask you this question: how difficult is it to really look after a hamster? What sort of financial responsibility, what sort of time you need to give to them? Because I know dogs, you need to walk, cats, you need to play, but hamster, I don't know, like maybe you tie one string or 4 thread and then use finger to control them, go for a walk. I don't know, play tricks, high five, or, I don't know. So how much effort and how much in terms of finances do you have to set aside on an average to look after hamsters?
Well, finances, definitely we have to be prepared for that, because even though it may seem like a hamster is a cheap animal or cheap to adopt, that kind of thing, you always have to be prepared for like things like what if they get sick and things like that. Because I had a foster, she actually had to amputate one leg because there was like a growth or tumor. So a surgery like that can cost up to $600. We ended up spending almost $700 on her, and all those were from like HSS funds because she was still a foster at that point of time. So it can be scary when they fall sick because the medical bills are extremely expensive. So financially, you have to be prepared to not give up on them. Most importantly, don't give up on them. Always make sure you try your best to give them the best care they can get. And I guess in terms of more fun stuff, like interacting with them, try to ensure that you have daily interaction with your pets in any way. So for hamsters, say if you want to tame them, which means like you help them not bite your hands so much.
Yeah, because the minute you say tame them, it just struck a chord like, are we dealing with hamsters or are we dealing with the Bigfoot or something? Like, scary, man.
Because like sometimes they can be very nibbly or bitey because they're scared.
Correct.
So you can help tame them, you give them treats, help them get used to your smell, your hand, get used to holding them, give them enrichment. So give them toys like maybe like cardboard toys you can make yourself, hide treats inside, and they go very crazy over there. Give them time to roam around. Should be excited. In like a playpen so that they have like a safe space to play in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how else can the public or how else can hamster lovers help you guys out at HSS?
Well, of course, number one, adopt from us. Adopt from us, don't shop. Adopt from us. There are so many hamsters that are super adorable and need your help. I currently have one foster, but I think we have like 30, 40 over hamsters in our care now, but they're slowly being released for adoption because we have to make sure that they are of like best health. Yeah, and make sure that they are ready. So adoption is one. You can volunteer with us, so you can sign up to be a fosterer or just sign up to be part of our team in any way. And then one more thing, you can buy our merch because we just have it on our website as well.
Where?
Oh.
On your website?
Yeah, we didn't bring it now. Our website, hamstersociety.sg/merch. Yeah.
So everything's all on website already lah.
Yeah, everything's on website, very easily accessible.
You see all these young people, now all play website now, all play internet lah. There's no communication between human beings lah. It's okay lah.
That's fine, I communicate now.
Yeah lah. Then I'll text you the next thing lah. But anyway, I'll say thank you to you in my WhatsApp later or maybe in my WeChat or what. I don't know. I just drop you a DM lah.
Okay, can.
Sometimes really all this young generation, you all forget about human touch. Anyway, I got Clarice here from the Hamster Society of Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us on this program and thank you for bringing your little friends along.
Yeah.
So that was Clarice there, guys. If you want to help out, you know what to do. Go to the website.
Yes.
Go to the website. Everything, we play website, we play Instagram, we play this and that. Don't even go Facebook because to them Facebook is called ancient and justified. It's historical, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, we've almost come to the end of our program here today. And yes, I've been getting a lot of people. There you have it. There you see lah. Now you see every episode, you must bring one special guest to come and say thank you to me. Must come and say bye-bye to the program. Hey, Kola. Hey, oh my God. Oh, baby, you want this? You want this? Oh, you're wagging your tail. We come to the end of our second episode for E-Pets Day Out. Look at Simon had. This is why I like torture. Just now you attitude me, right? Huh? Well, now I'm your best friend already. Come here. The home viewers want to see you, darling. They want to see you. They want to make friends with you. Come, darling. Okay, you just relax. You sit still. Kola, sit. Kola, sit. Yes, I know you smell it. Yes, darling. Down here. Kola, here. Zap. You see this? You must sing home. If you can sing home for National Day, I give you your treat. If you don't sing home, you don't get no treat. Did you just take the treat out of my hand and just bite it and just eat? Yeah, just eat. Yeah, knock my microphone. Go. Knock. Yes. See lah. See? You see? Now Kola knocked my microphone out. Then who's to blame? Next time microphone spoil, who pay? I pay. Then the dog gets all the treat. Then I sit down here like a stupid. Production crew, aku botak bukan bodoh tau. Kerja macam anjing, tapi dia dapat treat, kau dapat apa? Now I see, now drop, I got to go and pay. You're good you're good you're good AVS. I remember you, and when I remember, gua tak ingat kat sini, gua akan ingat kat dalam hati lu orang. Anyway, come to the end of our second episode of ePets Day Out, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I would like to say a very big thank you. Where are you going? Where are you going? Can you just let me end the show in peace? Not? Hello, can you just sit down? Can you just sit down? Please, for God's sake, come here, Kola. Yang Allah, whose dog is this? Who's the owner of the dog? The owner needs to be trained, not the dog. I swear to you. Nah, one more. Take. Kola. Acha. Now, I would like to say a very, very big thank you to our AWGs out there today, our animal welfare groups. We've got Cat Welfare Society, Noah's Ark CARES, and also Hamster Society of Singapore, along with our lovely sponsors and our partners for bringing us our second run of ePets Day Out. So thank you so much to the sponsors. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we hope to catch you guys in August for our next edition of ePets Day Out. And I'm sorry I have to do this one more time before Kola jumps off the sofa and the couch. Here you go, Kola, one more. Which one you want? This one or this one? This or this? Pick a choice. Left or right? Left or right? Which one? Wrong choice. We get to throw away the rest. Good night, take care, and God bless. Have yourselves a great weekend. And remember, pets are lives that matter. Do I need to take a knee and do this? Yes. Pets' lives matter. So don't abandon them. Love them like always. Take a knee, boy. Kola, take a knee. Oi, take a knee. Bye. Finish. How long you want me to kneel down? Later I gotta go home and kneel to my wife. Someone, walao, you are damn sick at one. Bye-bye.